and in this video I'm going to start with a new topic, that is what are the types of elasticity or degrees of elasticity. Types of elasticity are also known as by another word, that is degree. There are in total 5 degrees of elasticity. We will discuss all these 5 degrees of elasticity. First we will see a brief description what we have read till now, that is elasticity of demand measures the responsiveness of demand to a change in its price. See this formula, we will discuss this formula today. We have to learn this formula. Okay, now these are the factors. Now we will start with the types of elasticity or degrees of elasticity. First one is perfectly inelastic demand. Now what is perfectly inelastic demand? Perfectly inelastic demand means that whatever will be the price, the consumer who is consuming a specific quantity, he will consume that only at any price. Now, like let's take the example like necessity or essential goods like life-saving drugs, like medicine. If a consumer is in need of medicine, at whatever price, he will buy that medicine. Okay, thus and a specific quantity. It's not that he will at price one he will buy this quantity, at price zero he will buy this quantity. This doesn't happen. He will buy a specific quantity at any price. Okay. Thus, the curve leads to this the demand curve. This demand curve will be parallel to the y-axis, as the quantity never changes, only the price changes. It can increase or decrease. Let's take for example. Here, in case of price elasticity, ED is equal to zero, as in the upper in the upper form of this formula. Here, the change in price doesn't take place. Thus, this will be zero. Change in price will be zero. Thus, the ED is equal to 0, as the numerator is 0, therefore the ED is equal to 0. Okay, thus ED is equal to 0. Let's take example. Price increases by price decreases from 100 to 60. That is, there is a decrease in price by 40%, and quantity remains the same. There is no change in quantity. Thus, the demand curve will be parallel to the y-axis. Example is given: necessity or essential goods like life-saving drugs. Yes, and here it is. You can learn this diagram. You have to learn this diagram. Here is the vertical column. There is price. In the horizontal column, it is quantity. Okay. Price perfectly inelastic demand is completed. We will move towards perfectly elastic demand. Now, what is perfectly elastic demand? This concept is generally hypothetical. It's imaginary. This case generally exists in perfect competition. What we will read what is perfect competition in forms of market chapter in 11th chapter, I think. We learn there. Here it's like hypothetical case which generally doesn't happen. Here what in this case tell that at a price the quantity increases or decreases. There is no change in price, but then also the price increases or decreases. Let's see the example. Here the EV is equal to 0 in infinity. Now why is infinity I am telling you? See this here, as the price doesn't change, therefore it will be 0. Change in p equal to 0, as the denominator is 0 and whatever is in the numerator. As the denominator is 0, the answer will be infinity. Okay, thus it will be infinity. Let's take an example. Price doesn't change. Price will be 100 and 100, and quantity increases from 100 to 200. There is a 100% increase in the quantity, and price doesn't change. Thus the demand curve will be parallel to horizontal axis or quantity axis, where the price doesn't change but the quantity changes. Okay, this the hypothetical case exists under perfect competition. You will see this in forms of market chapter. Now third one is unitary or unit elastic. The unitary elastic is also known as unit elastic. The curve of unit elastic is rectangular hyperbola. Now first we will discuss what is rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola is a curve in which every every rectangle, see this is a rectangle, area of this rectangle will be equal. That is, if we multiply the length and the breadth of any rectangle in this under this curve, area of it will be same. These types of curves are known as rectangular hyperbola. The ED of this unitary elastic method is equal to 1. Why it's equal to 1? As the change in price is equal to change in quantity. This numerator by denominator is equal. Thus, the ED is equal to 1. Just as example, there is a initially the price of a commodity was 100, it changes to 90, decreases to 90, and quantity increases from 100 to 110. There is a 10% decrease in the price and 10% increase in the quantity. Thus, the change in price equal to change in quantity. Thus, ED is equal to 1. The curve is a rectangular hyperbola. And why it's rectangular hyperbola? Because the area under any rectangle under this curve will be equal. Thus, therefore, it is known as rectangular hyperbola. And the example of this unit elastic goods are normal goods, as there is a unit elastic in case of normal goods. Okay, normal goods like milk, any cheese, butter, all these are normal goods. Now the fourth one is more than elastic. More than elastic method is also known as only elastic method. Here the ED lies in between infinity and 1 and infinity, as ED is greater than 1 and less than infinity. Okay, what first we have seen as ED is equal to 0, it's known as perfectly inelastic. Then we have seen perfectly elastic, that is equal, ED is equal to infinity. Then we have seen a middle position that ED is equal to 1, it's known as inelastic. Now we are seeing that ED is greater than 1 and less than infinity, it's known as elastic demand. Okay, where the change in price is less than change in quantity demanded. That is, numerator is greater than the denominator. Therefore, whatever will be the number, it will be greater than 1. Thus, is a elastic demand. It shows a elastic demand where ED is greater than 1 and less than infinity. And that is change in price is less than change in quantity demanded. Let's take example. There is a the price initially the price of a commodity was 100, it changes to 90, and quantity changes from 100 to 150. There is a 10% decrease in the price, numerator will be 10, and 50% increase in the quantity, that is numerator will be 50. Therefore, ED is equal to 5, it is greater than 1, therefore it will be more than elastic, or we can say the elasticity of it is elastic demand. The curve of it will be flatter, this will be flatter, okay, as the small decrease in price will give a greater increase in the quantity. Therefore, the curve will be flatter. See, small decrease in price will give a greater increase in quantity. Thus, the curve will be flatter. It will be a flat curve. Okay. Examples are luxury goods. As a small decrease in their price, the quantity of it increases with a huge amount. Okay. Now we will move forward to the next, that is less than elastic or inelastic demand. Here the elasticity, here the demand of a commodity increases a very bit if in case of increase in the price. Whereas that is change in price is greater than change in quantity demand. Change in quantity demand is very less, and change in price is more. Let's take an example. Here the initially the price of a commodity was 100, it decreases to 60, and quantity increases from and quantity decreases by I think quantity will be 120. It will be 120. Okay. Quantity increases from 100 to 120. Thus, there will be a decrease in price by 40% and increase in quantity by 20%. There is a greater decrease in the price of a commodity and less in, increase in the quantity of the commodity. So that is, the denominator is greater than the numerator. Therefore, it will be less than 1 but will be greater than 0. Here the ED is less than 1 and greater than 0. The example of this are necessity goods like food, fuel, where the demand generally do not increase so much with increase or decrease in the price. Okay, and the curve of it will be steeper. This curve shows a steeper curve where in decrease in the price is greater and increase in quantity is less. It will be a steeper curve. Now I have given a summary of all this curve in this diagram. Here in the vertical column there is price and the horizontal column there is quantity. All the five curves are shown in this diagram only. The top one, that is horizontal, that is parallel to the horizontal curve, that is quantity curve, it's parallel to the x-axis. It shows ED is equal to infinity. Okay, the vertical curve that is parallel to the y-axis or the price axis, ED is equal to 0. The curve that where the ED is less than 1, it shows a steeper curve. The middle one where ED is equal to 1, it shows a rectangular hyperbola. And the curve where the ED is greater than 1, it shows a flatter curve. Okay, okay, thank you. With this, I am ending the session. Thank you.